Well, there you go. Welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and we are on the Dakar Rally again in Saudi Arabia 2024. Literally just arrived at our stop. I'm just going to see if I can get out the wind slightly behind these Toyota Land Cruisers you'll see here. Yes, I'm a guest of Toyota this year, and we've driven about 300 kilometers to get here, and a lot of it off-road, about 90 kilometers off-road, to this spectacular spot on top of a hill. Unfortunately, it's quite breezy, so I'm going to struggle with sounds. You'll have to bear with me on this because I've nothing I can do about it. I've got wind protected mics, but it's really windy up here. But this spot is just like a film set. If you're going to watch Dakar and the races come through, this is where I want to see it. And the first reason we knew those bikes were coming was the helicopter. Suddenly heard the helicopter, and then the two lead bikes came through. The bikes on Dakar always go first. It's a frustration for them because they have no tracks to follow. They have to follow the road book. We're going through that. We're going to visit the bivouac later today, and I'll take you through some of the details of how it all works. But we've got a vista here that just beats anything I've ever seen on Dakar. I can see another light. There's another light down there, bike coming up there. We've got, I don't know, 2 kilometre thing. They've gone through this terrain, and they have to go up this rocky slope, and then there's a sand just on this piece here. Unbelievable spot. So yeah, you're going to be joining Harry's Garage on Dakar 24, and I'll give you a behind the scenes tour of all the racing and all the stuff at the bivouac. What a spot this is going to be. I was so excited seeing those bikes come through. It was interesting, we saw a few more bikes come through, and they're coming through in pairs, and I understand this is a quite hard stage for navigation, so it's better to work in pairs if you can, and the bikes are very competitive this year. Yesterday's stage, when they started out, there was 1 second between first and second. I think it's now something like 40 seconds between first and second at the start of today's stage, so it's absolutely going to the wire. And the top 10 bikes, Charlie holding the camera will correct me, I think are covered by about 5 minutes, aren't they? In Dakar terms, over the distance they've travelled is incredibly close. So Honda at the moment are battling with KTM and Gas Husqvarna to see if they can get a win at Dakar this year. That's what's going on there. In the cars, well, what a year. Last year Toyota won with Nasser, their top driver, who has won numerous Dakar events. He won the year before as well, won in 23. But in 2024, shock news, he swapped camps. He left Toyota and joined, the ProDrive. He's driving a ProDrive Hunter, Red Bull car, Sebastian Loeb, and it's not been going well. He hasn't had a good time. The first couple of stages, there was punches galore. He lost a fair bit of time. He had breakdowns, he had a hub go, and it's just not Nasser's year. So it's really wide open, and the big surprise in 2024 is how well the Audis are going. Audi declared this is their last year competing, but at the moment Carlos Sainz is leading Dakar from Sebastian Loeb, who's trying to catch him. Sebastian Loeb seems to be really quick in the dunes, and then yesterday another navigation mistake put him back, and he is currently 24 minutes behind the master of Carlos Sainz. those 3 Audis go through like that. What I think was going on there is Ericsson won the stage yesterday, so he would have led off, and he's leading Carlos Sainz. I suspect. Oh, there's another Toyota coming up now. And then Peter Hansel behind us back up if something goes wrong with Carlos Sainz's car. I suggest that Audi are working as a team at the moment, but it was just magic to see the three together, and just how that Audi sounds so different because it's on constant revs, because it's just charging the battery, while we've got the sounds to me, yeah, like another Hilux Toyota coming up. They have such a wonderful sound. Listen to it sing. Hey, see me kick sand over those guys. There we are. Yeah. There we go. So Sebastian Loeb is a long way behind, but he had this trouble with a waypoint yesterday, and he had to double back, and he lost a lot of time. And I imagine he's going absolutely full today. And there's another car just come into the distance. Full on this stage, my goodness. And the sun this year, unlike last year where we just had mud. This is such a good spot, can't believe it. We're seeing all these guys come through. They're really getting the power on through the sand. There we are. Some of them. And then, you know, they must have a warning on the road book or something that there's rocks up there. Just talking to Monica, who's part of our group and has done Dakar with her dad in buggies, the cars are limited to 170 kilometres an hour this year, and the bikes were 160 kilometres last year. I need to check if they've upped that to 170 as well, but that is the maximum speed the cars have to be limited to for safety on the route. She was telling me she was talking to a team last night, and they were checking the data of yesterday's stage, and one of their drivers, and I'll have to find out who, had the throttle pinned maximum for 14 minutes, stuck at 170 kilometres an hour somewhere in the desert yesterday. 14 minutes flat out. That's Dakar for you. They all get a tricky bit which side the track to go here. The thing is, the bikes have been through, so it's soft, so they try and choose which way they go. Here we go. Yeah, another one coming up hill. It wins the best sounding car on Dakar by a country mile. Interesting, there's no helicopters with these lead cars. There's sand over those guys. Yeah. Right. There we go. That was it. Good, wasn't it? Yeah. Fantastic to catch those two coming up the hill. Absolutely flat chat all the way through the valley and then up the sand until they hit the rocky bit. You just hear the anti-lag popping and banging as they go over the hill. The only one now is Sebastian Loeb in the Hunter, Pro Drive Hunter, if that comes through. But yeah, I don't know, I just can't get over how Toyota have made that V6 twin turbo sound as good as that. The Toyota had just gone through, has a staggering amount of fuel on board. I can't get over it. It's about 540 litres of fuel he starts the stage with. Massive amount of fuel, but they need it on these long stages, 400 and something kilometres today. They will manage how much fuel they put in it depending on the length of the stage. And there's the time stage, and then there's also the liaison getting back to base, back to the bivouac each night. And I think we've got another one coming up. Apparently we've got Sebastian Loeb just coming up the hill. Don't know if you can hear that completely different sound from the ProDrive Hunter. Yeah, it's Sebastian Loeb and his door's open, or his spare wheel cover or something. Whoa, he's trying to... Fantastic to see Sebastian Loeb go through like that. Yeah, door flapping on his spare tyre wheel wasn't slowing him down much though. He's got a lot of time to make up, 24 minutes and only 1, 2, 3 stages to do it in, so 8 minutes to take out of Carlos Sainz each day for the next 3 days. Can he do it? Well, we'll find out at the finish. I want to just have a word about waypoints and things. So these guys, they go through various waypoints. That's the road book they're reading, and they need to get those, otherwise they get time penalties. And some of them you can actually add time if you go for it. So they will be hitting everyone. And there's also ghost timing along the course, and you don't actually know where that is, a competitor, but it's what the organisers use to make sure you're not taking a sneaky shortcut if you know the lie of the land. So there are these ghost time points as you go through, and obviously real time points as well. But yeah, I can't wait to see. We're going to go to the finish later today, just how Sebastian Loeb is getting on. Can he eke out from the master of Dakar, Carlos Sainz, with backup from Petter Hansel and Eric Strom? That's a pretty strong team Audi have got for their last year at Dakar with the e-tron. We're back at the bivouac, so this is our first visit down here. This is where they all come in. We've got this truck coming in here, behind there. Yeah, that was crazy doing that stage, and it was unfortunate that the police caught up with us and we couldn't go the route we thought we'd go, so we've arrived here a little late. It is, 7:15, but we had a proper adventure getting out, extracting us from wherever we were in the Saudi desert. It took over an hour to find tarmac, and what a relief when we got there, but we had the sandy tracks, we had rocks, etc. What I'm going to do now is give a very random tour around the bivouac. The bivouac is where everybody stops for the night. There's motorhomes, there's all where everybody camps out. There's big tents going up there for some of the originals, some of the bike guys, and we'll just see who we can bump into here. On the stage today, the things I took away were those 3 Audis going together. They are working to team orders. They are doing everything they can to get Carlos Sainz to the finish up front of Sebastian Loeb. That is the battle for the ultimate overall champion of Dakar. The other thing you don't realise is that all these guys are on the same roads as us, so a couple of them came past us as we were making our way back to here. They all have to be road legal, and the distance they've done, I want to find out from some of the bike riders what time they started this morning. As I say, 7 o'clock, 7:15, and they're only just coming in. It could be a 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock start this morning. It's a long day, and then you repeat the next day. Anyway, let's get cracking, see what we can see. Right, we are at the BRX Hunter. This is Sebastian Loeb's car that we saw go through the stage, who won the stage today. I can't get over how much is stripped off this car. You'll see no shockers and dampers, they're all off. All sorts of bodywork. saw the spare wheel covers flapping around during the race when they came past us. I didn't realise he had 2 punctures today, and he had to change 2 tyres and still won today's stage, which is incredible going. In a perfect world, in perfect conditions like this, they can change a tyre in 1 or 2 minutes because they actually have hydraulic jacks on this car. So this is here, that's the great big foot, goes down onto the desert, lifts the car up, whole side up, and that's where the tyre lives. Spot it on, put the spare in there, get on. To do that twice today and still win the stage, that's good going. And I think he took about 4 or 5 minutes out of Carlos Sainz's time as well. He's got 3 more stages, I understand, to make up 20 minutes or so to take the win. There are the suspension and springs that have taken off Sebastian's car. Apparently it's a different terrain tomorrow, so they actually put completely different units on, but as a matter of course that they would come off. This is Gazoo Racing, and although there's highlights here, they're doing very well. I haven't caught on the full result, top 10 this today yet, but we're here tomorrow as well. I'm going to have a proper guided tour around this thing. So for tonight, I'm not going to look at those. I want to capture some of the other cars here, try and get up to some of the classics, go and see Audi and that sort of thing. Expect that. I didn't know there was a Toyota truck in this. Gazoo Racing, a great truck. These are about 9 tons, and I'm gutted we didn't see them today on the stage. They're one of my favourite things now on Dakar. The mad trucks are just a spectacle, and they just charge through. The speed they carry is incredible on sand. Can't get over this lineup of Pajero Evo trucks and Mitsubishi. This is an earlier Shogun here. There's a whole row of them here. There's another 10 of them over there. Evo properly. I think this might be the one to do it in. Here's the sleeping accommodation for a lot of the teams here. The riders, mechanics, all in tents. They actually had a special stage this year where there were you had to stay. Even Carlos Sainz was in a tent out in the desert. But here they always have this compound where you all put your tent up, and that's right. This is the originals, and it's so termed because these are bikes that privateers have entered, and they look after them themselves. There's a dedicated area for them. This is the hardcore way of doing Dakar. If you look at their boxes, exactly the same as we get on Sand Raiders. All their kit has to go in that box. Then that goes on a transporter, and the organisers take it to the next stop. And the rest of it, you're on your own with these bikes. What time do you start in the morning? What time is the start time?
Morning at 7. And we finish at 7. For
12 hours.
12 or 14 hours. For us, for me and for us, we are more or less for amateurs.
I know.
Professional rider.
Exactly. I don't know how you do it. I take my hat off and bow to your endurance.
It's romantic, no?
It is, isn't it? But why?
Your bike and your tent. Nothing else.
No.
And the desert.
And the desert. Well, yeah, the scenery we see. I couldn't get over the dunes this year, that empty quarter.
Yeah, this year with the 48 hours marathon stage, it was crazy because I spent 14 hours and a half in the stage. For 14 hours. It's crazy. I mean, all use, no tracks, nothing. Dunes. Too much, maybe.
Yeah, I think, well,
maybe
I
too
couldn't
much.
do it. I just couldn't do it. Do you go the same course as the other guys?
The cars, no. Have a easier course.
Yeah.
All the motorbike, yes.
Yeah.
The stage in the empty quarter was 624 kilometers of dunes.
624 of dunes.
The cars 570, but with different lights, so easier.
And how much fuel can you carry?
32 liters.
You're 32.
Half and half, so
Yeah.
16 the bottom, 16 in front part with 2 fuel pumps. So we can decide to balance the bike in different ways. And also in case of problem to fuel pump, one fuel pump, you can
I see. Balance that. Thank you ever so much for talking to us. Congratulations. 600 kilometres of dunes, Charlie. How are you going to do that? Are you going to do that? I'm not going to do that. This is where we were last year with Audi. This is Carlos Sainz car, which is leading overall at the moment. It's interesting just hear it humming. It's a very interesting car, this, I think, guys. It's a shame it's getting retired. Is it really going to get retired if they're doing this well this year? 3 cars, Peter Hansel, Carlos Sainz and Ericsson all working as a team now, making sure the track's okay. So Elkstrom out front, checking, because he did actually win the stage yesterday. Carlos Sainz doesn't have to win the stages. He's 24 minutes ahead of Sebastian. He stays safe in the middle. And then Peter Hansel coming up the rear, unfortunately way out of it because he had that nightmare when the jack didn't work and suspension issues, and he's hours behind, not sure exactly where. But it means he carries 2 extra spare tyres, and it does seem as though Dakar 24 is all about punches this year, and they all carry the same control tyre. But unfortunately, it does seem to be a problem in this rocky terrain. And when we're this side of the Saudi, this is where the rocks are. They've left the dunes behind. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I saw you at the beginning and I thought, wreck, 2-wheel drive, sand, dunes, but you're here.
Yeah. Today we had a problem with oil cooling and we lost all oil. But
you lost all your oil?
Yeah.
Where did you lose it? Pipe off or something?
No, yeah. It was here. There was so bumpy.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, it hit on the cooler.
Yeah.
Oh. And even though you had a plate there, it's still
Yeah,
going.
there was a plate, and the oil were, as you see, everywhere.
Oh.
Two last stage was really good. We were finishing even on 11th place. So it
That's
was,
really
yeah.
because you're in 2-wheel drive class.
Yeah. No. Overall.
Overall, you
Yeah.
are. Oh, you'll be back next year then. Yeah.
So yeah, we had many things we had to change because now we know this is the first Dakar. Now we know that we have to change many things. Yes. Wheels are good for hard roads, but not for the dunes, the sand. So gearbox, wheels, a little bit higher suspension, and it will be top 3.
I didn't realise there was a defender in the.
Yes,
Dakar.
that's
There
a
you
proper
are.
defender.
Yeah, there's a new one now. You know, you don't have to take this one. But
But
you
this
have
one's
a
more
way.
likely to get around.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we've done the last couple of days with no power steering. So the scenery was just incredible.
Unbelievable,
If it wasn't for the
wasn't it?
fact that I was hanging on to the wheel, we were saying it was the most spectacular stage
was
we've ever done.
Yeah,
so you
that's
can
what
be
it was
on
like.
sandy dunes and then
Yeah.
suddenly you're into the really hard lava.
Yeah.
But that's the challenge. I mean, you know,
Well, it's a hell of a challenge, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, we
So-
did 400 odd, 500 kilometres today.
Today was 6:07. Today is 7:15 yesterday. We left here at 4:27 yesterday morning. Or not, wherever we were last night. High we were in High last night. So we left there at 4:27 and we're into the bivouac about 6. Yeah.
And it's not just a weekend or something, isn't it? It's 2 chuffing weeks, isn't it?
It takes a while to get your head around the fact that you do a few days of rallying and you think, well, you know, you get on it, it's just starting, and then you do a week. But we were saying today that after a week of it, you start to understand it, you get into a rhythm, and it kind of makes more sense and it's a bit less daunting. So,
Well, it's horribly addictive, unfortunately. You know, there's nothing else like it. And you've got a year to forget about it. And then you suddenly think, oh, that's a good idea, I'll do that again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised. So what age is this then?
1985.
Oh, so that's just in. I don't know, is there a cut-off?
2000.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you get some trick stuff then?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you'll get me looking at the classifieds and stuff. What I could do, take on the Defender.
I wouldn't advise using a 90.
No.
It's way too short.
Yeah.
So it's, we do a lot of different events with it. I built it to do all sorts of different types of motorsport.
Yeah.
So it's really good fun for little twisty stages, but you want something a bit longer.
Yes.
Because you're just constantly on it all the time,
Maybe it's a Range Rover then. Maybe it's a
Range Rover, Discovery. Yeah, 110 is probably a little bit big and heavy, but Range Rover or Discovery.
You're a bad man. I'm going to have to go. So I can't listen to
You've got
this.
something kicking around.
And there'll
in
be
the
something
shed,
in the
haven't you?
garage. Yeah. Nothing suitable, I don't think. Yeah. Well, this is day 2 of the Dakar Rally for us, and we literally just arrived at our lunch stop here. We had to get up this same slope, not realising it was the live track for Dakar. That's the thing, you do not know the route of the Dakar. They're given it a few hours before they set off, and they have to put it in. So no one actually knows the final route. It's kept completely under wraps. And we lucked out big time here. We were only a few minutes, and then the first bikes went through. It's quite a tricky little bit of sand. There turns out to be a waypoint somewhere over there, not very far away from here, because we have heard some bikes go past here and then have to come back to hit their waypoint. Yeah, last night, just to sort of update what was actually happening, what we've discovered since we were around the bivouac. We didn't have the full information to hand. And Nasser, with the ProDrive Hunter, swapped over in Toyota for this year. He's had another nightmare day yesterday on the stage. That's why we didn't see him on stage. Early on in yesterday's stage, the engine failed on the Hunter he was driving, and they had one spare engine, and the decision was taken that they needed to not give Nasser the spare engine so he could continue the rally, because with Sebastian Loeb hoping for his first victory, he's 20 minutes behind Carlos Sainz last night. They want to keep that spare engine for Loeb's with 3 stages to go. Nasser, as you can imagine, not happy about it, and he left the event last night, flew home, so he's no longer around. But with Toyotas, the Hiluxes continue. Top Toyota is actually 3rd overall. He lost some time yesterday in the last 80 kilometres. Mateus just didn't quite crack it. He was running in 3rd position and then dropped 6 minutes or something, but continues in 3rd position overall. So we're going to see some other cars come through here, have a spot at the lunch and just drink in Dakar 24. Here comes helicopter. Wow. Right. Just seen the first car, just appeared over there. He didn't take this more technical route. Now there's a helicopter there as well, but we can just see a dust trail. If you look there, the cars are going through there. We do not know. If they see us, they might still come through here. We'll just have to wait and see. But that helicopter must be on the lead cars, I would imagine. Wow. Yeah. Right, Sebastian Loeb just gone through and he took our route. Fantastic. What's been happening today, all been going on in this stage. We just heard from Spanish journalist Carlos Sainz lost 16 minutes somewhere on the stage. I know if his punchers don't know, but he's lost 16 minutes. But Sebastian Loeb has also lost minutes. So he's taken 9 minutes out of Carlos Sainz's lead so far, and there's quite a lot of the stage to go. Who knows? But he has taken a dramatic bite out of the 20 minutes he was behind last night in the bivouac. They're going slightly slower here, I think, just because of that waypoint is just there, and they will have everything going on the dash. Yes, he's got a co-driver, but he's just saying, is this the right way? We're looking at the bleep. It doesn't go live at all. How the waypoint works, it says nothing, and suddenly a screen, bing, you're near a waypoint, and it starts bleeping to you the closer you get to it, until you get a solid bleep, bang, you got the waypoint, and then you crack on. And that was Metis, yeah. He's the lead Toyota driver in the highlights. He's line third at the moment. The randomness of Dakar just shows you there's 2 ways to the waypoint, 3 ways. You're just chasing across the desert, but he's gone that way. Now you can hear him slow down. He's had to come down here, slow down. He's still looking for the waypoint. Crazy see them come through here. Yeah, it's a bit technical here. It's not quite as steep as the run we have, and then there's a rocky section just over this. This is the terrain around here. We found it yesterday when we were in the Land Cruiser. You go from soft sand to hard rock, and it'd be dead easy to go way too quick into that rocky bit. So that's where you can hear all the anti-lag all hitting. They're hitting the brakes here. They're powering through the sand, and then have to throttle off for the rocky section. And there's another car coming. Give up on the sand. Yeah. Oh, it's quads. It's the quads coming through. It's the quads. This is a proper battle between the two of them. Rarely do. Oh, look at him fighting it. Not my favourite thing is quads. Whoa, I wouldn't like to follow that close. They say the bikers are the true madmen of Dakar. I'm not so sure. I think the quad boys are the maddest of the lot. Probably having the most fun is the guys in the truck. Who knows?
Started with racing motocross.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, you're a motocross. Yeah, I've never done motocross.
I started racing motocross.
Because we saw what happened today. Unbelievable. I just couldn't see the video. I just thought, well, there's others gone over there. I mean, I wouldn't have spotted it. You obviously didn't spot it. You must have been, oh, shit moment as soon as you got to it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it wasn't, what you want.
No.
It was one of those to where you didn't think it was too big of a deal. Honestly, I jumped off thinking that everything was going to be okay. I wasn't too worried about it. Unfortunately, there was a rock underneath the sand that was hiding for me, and that's actually ended up causing damage. So the drop itself didn't cause the damage, it was the rock that was hiding from us.
And it was both sides it got, did it?
No, just this side. So this side,
right.
just the right side, ended up breaking the front and rear damper, and then bending the upper wishbone in the front.
From the video, it looked all at the rear. No,
Yeah, so just the right side was.
Oh, okay. And the other thing, he just said he changed wishbones. That looks completely different wishbone to me that you were just handling there.
Yeah, so the one that we had right there, that was opening and closing, that's just one that we can put inside the car.
Right.
So it's collapsible, it's easier for space, you can put it wherever we want.
But that will go there. That is the same dimension.
If we needed it, yes, that will go there.
That was it. And you had a spare damper on board.
Yep, exactly.
You had one.
Just one, so
And
we had to
you
wait for
needed two.
Yeah, we needed to wait for
Yeah, it's cruel sport, isn't it? At times like that.
It really is.
Yeah, we saw you coming through, and I was amazed how many slightly different routes were taken.
Right.
And if we had one where everybody had gone wrong, and everybody then does the temptation, I guess, is to follow the track, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yeah, I mean, it's your safest bet. When we're out here trying to make our own roads the whole entire time, the safest bet is to look forward and find the line. And usually, when there is a line, you're cutting 100 meters or 50 meters, whatever it is, because you can see, like, okay, it's going to go this direction, and it's going to come back to here, so I'm just going to go straight, or whatever it is. So usually the guys in the back have a much easier time of being faster.
Yeah. Have you ever driven dunes like that before?
Not of that extent. I've done some dune driving in California, but those were another level. We're going up dunes for 2 kilometers about. I mean, they're so tall that we're climbing them for so long.
Yeah.
They've been baking in the sun for thousands of years, and nobody's seen them before or touched them, and as soon as you touch them, they turn to dust.
Yeah. Do you get seasick when it's like that?
I personally don't get seasick. I know that there's a lot of other drivers do, so luckily enough, I do not get motion sickness.
Well, and how long do you stay in the car? What's the longest stretch on this rally? You sit there.
I believe it's a minimum of, I think it's been 6 hours, minimum 6 hours. I think the max we've been in the car is probably about 12, 13 hours.
And simple things. I mean, an energy drink, having a pee, stuff like that. How's that work? Not allowed.
No, so you get water or whatever you put in your camel bags, and I have a big bladder, fortunately. I'm just gonna say it. I don't have to pee, but other guys like my co-driver, wherever he is, hate me for saying this. He wears an adult diaper.
Right, you have to.
You gotta figure it out.
If you're doing 6 hours.
Yeah, you can't blame him. You can't make fun of him because you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, well, yeah, quite right too.
Honestly, I think anybody can get in this car and be competitive. It's pretty
I'm very tempted to prove that's right. And does it? I mean, you've got half a ton of fuel. Do you make any adjustments before when it's near empty? I mean, it must feel completely different.
Yes, so that's a hard one. Suspension setup on these cars is very difficult, not to the extent of the geometry of the car, but to the extent of the amount of weight that we're transferring. When we start with our 500 liters, the car is usually kind of soft, and you can feel it. It does have a lot of traction, to be honest. You got a lot of grip in the rear. But it's hard because sometimes when we start with 500 liters of fuel, which we don't always do, we will raise the ride height of the car to come back to the level where we were. Right. And then by the time that we're at 100 liters, the car's 10 millimeters up a little bit in the rear, and it feels different and starting to act different. But Glenn, our engineer, says if you're a good enough driver, you go through those things, you get used to it. So that's what we do.
So no adjustments on the fly? No tire pressures, no dampers, roll bars?
Not allowed to. I mean, you could stop, but you're in the middle of a race.
Right. No, I mean
no
from the
time
wheels.
to-
You've got none of that.
No.
You're just steering.
Yep.
Yeah, changing gears, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds easy, but it's not. Anyway, Seth, thanks ever so much for that. That's really good to talk around. Thank you.
So in the Toyota Gazoo Racing factory team, so we are a global factory team, so we run under the ambassadorship of Akira Toyota from Japan out. And so we have 5 race cars. Last year we had 3 race cars, so it's actually quite a setup. And in the 5 race cars we have 3 rookies, so that's also quite amazing. And that is showing also how we look differently to motorsport. So
It must have been an incredible change for you this year.
it's a big step. Yeah, big step as well. And of course, we have been honored to work closely together with Nasser Al-Attiyah as our champion so for many years. But when he took the conscious decision to move on, we then of course decided that what would fit perfect to Toyota Gazoo Racing brand and bringing young talent. and proving that they can be the future elite drivers.
Right.
This is now the 14th time
Is it the 14th time?
as Toyota Gazoo Racing, and on the 13 past ones we've been 12 times on podium. So it's very important in 2 days
So that is the
to
one.
continue that legacy. With 9,000 kilometers to Saudi, and this is now the 5th time. The country gives fantastic opportunities. So even every year we come back, we discover more canyons and different terrain.
Right.
And obviously we also see a very strong interest from the Middle East in motorsport.
Well, it's been very special to watch. Incredible to get involved. I don't know how you sleep at night because it changes everything every day, doesn't it?
Most of us sleep in the car during the day.
Right.
We do 600 to 800 kilometers a day movements. So people
that's
rotate. One has to stay awake and the others are sleeping in the car.
So how long are you going to be on duty? It's 7:15 now. You'll go off
Me,
duty.
I try to be in my tent before 2 o'clock at night. But the mechanics, they are not going to make it. They make a decision call around 4:30 whether to still go into it, take the shower, and then leave with the car. Because
Brilliant.
of course with the drivers we have a rest day, but the rest day doesn't count for the
Doesn't for you
mechanics.
guys.
They have a lot of work to do.
Well,
So it's an endurance for the mechanics, and you will also discover that when things are now happening and breaking down, it's that last minute attention at 6 in the morning, whether that bolt is right, whether that connector was back on. So no, you don't win. It's a team effort.
It is. Doesn't get any easier, this event, does it?
I think the older you get, the more difficult it becomes.
Yeah.
I rang back to somebody in the office this week and they were sort of saying, "Are you having fun out there?" And I said, this was part of the Aston Martin race team gigs. I said to them, this is like going 24 hours of Le Mans every day for 10 days. I look at, I've done virtually every type of motorcycle career and everything. I look back and I look at this, I think this is to motor racing what Mount Everest is to mountaineers. And it's just extraordinary.
Well, you only got to look, Seb is having, every time I think he's on the up and then something happens. I couldn't get over yesterday, 2 punctures, so he changed 2 wheels on track and still won the stage, didn't he? Yeah. I've never heard of that being done. And then you get today, it seemed going pretty well when he went past me.
Well, he had 2 punches as well.
Oh, okay.
But Carlos Sainz had 3.
Oh, really?
I had to wait for one of his other cars to come to give him another wheel.
Oh, is that why you got that? So that's why, right, one of the Audis, we only saw 2 Audis on track, that must have been.
The third Audi is still there because he hasn't got any tyres left.
Right. They really are doing a team event trying to get Carlos out. But
and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Those 2 are out of the event anyway. It's only to do well, and we're in the same situation. But
well, when I looked at the spec, oh my God, you got NASA on board now as well. It was dream team almost, wasn't it? All that experience,
but then so much this event is unpredictable. Things can happen, and we've lost NASA and the support we should have had from him. Yeah.
So how do you rate your chances then?
Well, it's more about I'd say Carlos's event to lose.
Right.
If everything goes according to plan, even if you had a couple of punctures, 13 minutes, 22 seconds, something's got to go wrong to that gap. I know it doesn't seem very much in the overall context, but it's still, it still favours Carlos today.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I will be looking at my app.
We've been the bridesmaid for 2 years running now, so we did it for
and I hope they get better tyres for next year. I don't know what you think.
No, you can't complain. Look at the terrain.
Yeah.
Understand these tyres get better every year.
Yeah.
Great tyres. There's some things you can't.
Sex.
You just can't cater for.
No.
The rocks out here and the road, the cars. You've seen how fast they go. Straight line across a pile of rocks. Any sane person would not do it.
There is a romance to Dakar, though, isn't there? Even when it's as rubbish as you
Something very special about it. It's always disappointing to finish second. So let's see what happens.
So it keeps you coming back next year. Well, David, it's been wonderful entertainment as a spectator. I can't imagine how frustrating it's been for you. But I wish you the best. And let's see you at the finish. Thank you, David. If you're wondering what's happening in the background, well, this is the head honcho of Dakar, and he's running through tomorrow's stage. So he's just giving some advice, vigilant note points. They still don't know the route at this stage. They get that in the morning as they come at the starting gate. It's wired to them. They all have these electronic road books now. They get it about 5 minutes before the stage starts, and then they go off. But they just get this debriefing, so anybody who's taking part, they just want to know minor details. They highlight any particular incidents on that track. But what I wanted to go through is just a rundown of what we experienced over the last couple of days. But I suppose wonderful to be on the stages that close, and such fantastic stages, and seeing the top competitors come past us like that. That is a dream come true for an enthusiast of Dakar like myself. And then to come into this bivouac area and just getting the backstory to how they achieve what they do, the guys and girls take part in this event. It is incredibly tough. As I was saying, David Richards just now, there he is with the top two guys to do Dakar, Nasser and Seb, and they're still fighting. And Carlos Sainz, all that experience, the Audi team at the top of the table with 2 stages to go. What is going to happen? David doesn't know. Boss man of Audi doesn't know. That is the thrill for me. And then you get those backstories. You go into Dakar Classic, guys in that Defender, the gentleman with his Porsche 924 taking part, and the bikers, the originals, doing the mechanicking themselves, and you see them on stage. The trucks. I'm sorry we haven't brought you the truck action this year, because they're one of my favourite things. I was looking at the times they do, and the trucks are just ahead of the buggies. They are quick things. Yeah, I think it's the ultimates though where all the action is. They're the fastest things on the stage, but the romance is there with the trucks. The backstories with Toyota is very interesting. God, you could tell from Alan the experience they have in doing rally raids, how they construct the car to be absolutely foolproof and changeable if they have a problem. Having wishbones that they can swap on all 4 corners. How clever is that? Having the strongest wishbone at the top so it's out of the damage. Very clever and well thought through. And also having the standard engine, dry sump in it. What a sales story that is. And yet, yeah, he did say it's not the fastest car here, but you know with Toyota's expertise, it's the one that gets to the finish. And as I say, yeah, 4 in the top 5 today. They want to be on the podium. They would love to have winning it, but they're on a long game, training their young drivers. David Richards at ProDrive doing everything to get Seb to win it this year. Where's Carlos Sainz going to go? If Audi really are not coming back next year, where's he going to go next year? Anyway, all those stories, all those sights, all that dust, all that speed, all that endurance, I think it's wonderful. I hope you do as well, and you have enjoyed this video. If you have, well, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.